It is high time Africa decided to move forward and to talk about the relevant things, to have the hard questions instead of diverting to comedy, diverting to a lot of nonsensical things that really don't help at the end of the day. Why do I say this? Like, it's so many years since most countries in Africa became independent with their own leaders, their own politicians. But today, as we speak, these countries are in bad states, worse off than when the colonialists were running them. At least most of them are. So I think it is high time that Africa decided to have the difficult questions, to face them head on, to disagree, to agree, so that at the end of the day, we come up with solutions that are customized for us, for our way of life. I say this because right now we are not discussing the critical issues, the issues that bring growth, the issues that can revolutionize future generations. We are avoiding them. We are indulging in a lot of gimmicks, a lot of drama, a lot of hula baloo, I would say, which is extremely unnecessary if you look at it. So, what do I mean? It's been time since these countries became independent. But now we would still be looking up and blaming it on others, saying, okay, it is the Europeans who invaded our lands and took a lot of resources from here. And at the end of the day, left us with a big hole. I think the number of years since the Europeans and the colonialists left the land is quite a lot, that it is high time that we agreed that we also have a fault in this. And that is when the real change is going to come. Because look at it, we are still fighting each other within each other. So if you look at the case of Congo, Rwanda, and other countries around East Africa being involved by proxies, it shows that we are still focused on things that really won't bring any change in the near future. And this is just making us a laughing stock for everyone around the world, particularly because they know that the moment that we are not organized in our own house, it is a right and a nice time for them to continue neo-colonial agendas because we are not speaking one voice, we are not united, we are not even getting it right in our own countries. We are still killing our own people aimlessly. The youths lack jobs, and it's a crazy situation. So I think it is high time that we talked hard on each other. We became stone faced, looking straight into each other's eyes and telling each other that, you know what, this is wrong and it is high time we changed and did the right things. It is very simple, I think. I really don't understand the type of leaders that we have in our countries. For instance, I come from Kenya. I don't really understand what this president is all about. It's all about much talk, but no serious, deep running plans to bring change. If a president is serious to bring change in Africa, I want to tell you the things that you're supposed to see. And if you see those things in any country, I guarantee you that in not so long a period of time, that country would have changed. The economy of that country would have really, really soared high. And that country would gain respect from around the world. And this respect will just increase the negotiation power of that country in the global spectrum. This means that the country will be more recognized by other economical partners in the globe. And that is just what it needs, the fuel our countries need to develop. So, take for instance China. It's funny that growing up, I never imagined that at some point the European Union, the United States, would talk and be worried about China and their progress and how they are industrializing and how they are also becoming big players in the global market. But here we are, fast forward, these Western bodies are so much worried about what China is doing, and they have to comply because they can just complain, but the more you complain and do nothing about it, the more China is growing. So at the end of the day, they learn they have to find a way of incorporating them. I see most of these countries now promoting learning Chinese language. It's amazing because this country decided to take a spot on the big table, and any country can. It starts with the leadership. So I was to tell you the things you need to see, that when you see in your country, in Africa, you should know that things are going right. One is industrialization. It is crazy that now the climate change agenda is being pushed to the global south in a quite serious manner. And because our leaders, because some of our professionals, I don't know how they think when they go to these tables of negotiations. They are cowed. They don't stand up for themselves. They're not courageous. They don't represent the people that sent them there in the manner they should. And it is crazy to see that you come from a country where you have raw materials that are always exported without being processed. And you are in that, attending these international conferences for climate change and agreeing and clapping and shouting that you need to downsize. Yet the countries that already are the polluters, I would say, are budgeting more for these things that you, who is not even industrialized, is planning to cut on. I think this is the most stupid thing that I've ever seen in my life. I don't really understand how somebody who is of clear mind, who knows we have products that need to be processed, and the only way to process them is to industrialize. We need industries. So what do I mean? I mean, if you are from an African country and you see industries targeting various sectors where you have agricultural raw products, know that already there's something big going to happen for you. You can take a case study for Rwanda, for example, what the president has been trying to do. That shows you that there's something cooking. And normally, the other signal is when the neo-colonists start to complain about what you're doing. They would do it in several ways. They can use people within the country to cause trouble, to bring voices of dissent. Because in some way, for this to be done, it's almost that it requires dictatorship, but it requires a polite dictatorship. A polite dictatorship means that it is dictatorship meant for the people, because the larger mass of the population is ignorant, I would say. And these are the people that would elect the leaders who would serve. So it's like the countries are in a rat race. The larger populace is ignorant, continue electing leaders that are corrupt, that are imbeciles, that don't think. And so this is how things continue to be. We will never get out of this rat race. So when you see, for instance, in Tanzania, we had President Magufuli. He was trying to do the right thing. He was trying to revolutionize industrialization in Tanzania. He was trying to ensure that the raw materials and raw products from Tanzania are processed in Tanzania. He welcomes investors from outside Tanzania, but only if they're willing to do benefit at the business at the benefit of the Tanzanian citizens. And you are aware this would really bring a lot of dissent from the Western countries, because they know that is the right thing. So that is what all African countries need to start from. It is the basics. It is not these things we are trying to talk about, a lot of nonsensical declarations, meetings that don't end anywhere. We don't need that. we need to go back to the basics. We need to industrialize our countries. Kenya, for instance, is producing tea and coffee, which you go to the UK and find in the shelves as tea from there, and is crazy to think that the raw product is gotten from exported from Kenya without clear processing, and finally you will find them back in the country in the shelves in supermarkets as processed and the luxury quality tea from England. That's crazy. So it's high time we had these hard discussions, these tough discussions, and look each other at the face. And we don't have to laugh with each other. It doesn't matter. We have to address these difficult things that we don't want to look each other in the eye and iron out. So if you see your country is focusing on developing industries on various sectors of growth. So for instance, I said Kenya, we have the tea industry, we have the Lake Victoria region where we have freshwater fish, we have cotton, sisal. These things have been dying. They were there during the and after the colonial era. And these are really strong areas of the economy. Sugar industries, they are dying along in most countries in Africa. So industrialization is the thing. Let us talk about industrialization. Let us industrialize our countries. Let us produce food. This is going to create jobs for the youth. Because another big problem that is waiting to explode is the youth problem in Africa as a whole. In Kenya, for instance, you walk in the streets and you meet a jobless man or woman, and they are PhD holders, they are master's holders, they are bachelor's holders. It is crazy. And this is going to erupt. The youth problem for sure must erupt in the near future. So if the leaders don't do the right thing, if the leaders don't industrialize so that we produce, let the global partners who wish to do business in good faith come and be willing to meet our negotiation standards where we already take care of ourselves, we mean well for ourselves and our people, and if they still find it beneficial to them, which it should be, then they are welcome to come and do business, to put industries together with us so that the African people benefit. It is high time we had this type of discussions.